But yeah, the Suns are actually like my favorite, and I just don't see them doing as well as a lot of people hoped. I feel like they were on a really good trajectory for a while, and then this new ownership came in and got a little bit excited and blew some things up and reassembled the team in a way that I don't think is necessarily beneficial or plays to the strengths of Devin Booker, to be quite frank. So,
Mm.
um, I think from the Suns, just starting with them since they are my favorite team, I think from the Suns, we'll see what we've seen throughout the season, which is excellent performances from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a team where the sum does not equal the whole, or the whole does not equal the sum of its parts. And unfortunately, they're just going to fall short. You have a big three made up of people that are like known to be injury prone. It just doesn't work out. So out of the East, I do see the Celtics coming out. I know some people are kind of like, will it be the Celtics? Will it be the Bucks? Not to not to dismiss your Pacers, but that's I'm just speaking on the general conversation that that's what a lot of people are predicting. And I just feel like it's been a long time coming for Jason Tatum. I feel like he's kind of overdue. Him and Jalen Brown have put a lot of work into the synergy that we see now. There was a point at which people were like, one of them should be traded, right? So just the work that we've seen go into them building that partnership to become the number one seed on that side of the bracket, I think that's going to pay off, despite what we saw at the end of the season, where there were some ups and downs, and people are like, "Oh, can we actually trust this team?" I think we 100% can. I think once it comes to the playoffs and people understand, okay, this is a best of seven. I think they'll tighten it up a little bit better, and we'll see them be the dominant team that we know that they can be, that we've seen throughout the season.
Mm.
Now in the West, like it's hard to imagine any team but the Nuggets coming out, right? They've just their dominance didn't diminish since last season. A lot of times you see a team win the way they did and they kind of fall off a little bit, right? But we're still looking at a third MVP for Jokic, possibly. And they're still looking like the favorites. Now, there's something about LeBron James, right? Where it's like on paper, it doesn't look like the Lakers should come out on top in this series. But there's just something about the way that he's able to lead his team in the way that he's able to show up. Last year in the playoffs, it was all about their role players, right? All of a sudden, their role players were just coming into the picture and making this huge difference. And this year, I think from the Lakers, we saw that, but a little bit more refined. Instead of it feeling like very incidental, it felt very like, okay, we actually learned how to turn this into a system. So if they can do that same thing again, they might give the Nuggets a run for their money. I'm not confident to say that they're like gonna beat the Nuggets. Like I still feel like the Nuggets are gonna win the series and ultimately come out of the West. But um, if the Lakers did somehow win the series, I wouldn't be one of those people like, oh my God, that they're like I do think there's a way that could happen. I
A
just don't
slim,
think it's
slim
likely.
chance. Go ahead.
He said a slim
Yeah.
chance, huh?
No, go ahead. I ain't mean to chime in. Go ahead.
No, that was it. Like, I don't think it's likely, but like if it does happen, it'll be because of LeBron's leadership and AD stepping up in some very real ways.
Well, we know they got abilities and especially size, and some of them got size over there if they stay on the damn court. So Zen, I think that was a great. First of all, let me say that was impressive. You
I
definitely
agree.
know what
I
you're
agree.
talking about. I definitely heard a lot of stuff that I agree with, and I'm just a casual fan. But I could refer to a breakdown like that if I was going to be doing some betting. Hint, hint. You know what I'm saying? So Zen Master, my brother, been a G in the chat, been doing your own thing, been doing extremely well with your channels, and you've been talking this sports stuff a long time, brother. So, what is your predictions for this year's playoffs?
All right. Well, I'm taking the Jazz just to begin with. No harshness, no hatred. But I agree with you about the Celtics coming out of the East. I'm also a Celtics fan. I'm also a Jason Tatum fan. Maybe for different reasons than you, but I've been a Tatum fan since he was 19 and dunked on LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. And that wasn't even enough. Homeboy turned around, looked at LeBron, chest bumped him, all in his face. So I'm like, that nigga right there. That nigga,
I
right?
want to
From
see
day
more of
one.
that Jason Tatum for
Oh
real.
man, so yeah, that's my man's, and I got him next, right? Pacers, I got after that, but Pacers are my up and comer. They my little pet project. So let me make sure my priorities are set, the table set correctly. Also out of the East though, the Knicks ain't no damn joke. I don't think they're gonna match up with the Celtics very well at the end of the day. The Sixers could be a problem. Again, I don't think they're going to match up with the Celtics that well. And the Bucks, we got to talk about what happened since they fired their head
What about
coach.
them, nigga?
What happened since they fired their head coach? They're like 17-19 or 19-17, some shit like that. It ain't
That
been
could be a
good.
whole podcast by itself.
Right. Doc
Damn.
Rivers is a perennial playoff choker.
Damn.
And
Damn.
the Pacers have owned you to the tune of 4 out of 5
Owned
games
us.
before Pascal Siakam got there.
God damn.
Y'all in trouble. That's the East. I got the Celtics. Out of the West,
Can't argue.
the Suns, I agree. They've been paper tigers from the beginning. Bradley Beal is not a winning basketball player, period. You spend all that time in D.C., you don't care about winning. Sorry, Damian Lillard, you sit here and be complacent in Portland. You really didn't care about winning. You cared about being the man, and you never learned winning ways. And now you teamed up with Kevin Durant, who's a runner, and you teamed up with Devin Booker, who really should have ran the hell away from Phoenix a long time ago. So they out. First round, they gone. I agree with you on that. The Nuggets, I kind of have a little bit of doubt about the Nuggets this season, but not a whole lot of doubt. They can definitely win it all again. But I told GMS in the beginning of the season, I had the Timberwolves. Did I not, GMS?
You did. I do have a question about that though.
I got an update for you too. Go ahead.
The Suns, every time they pulled up, or every time we pulled up, it hasn't gone our way. That's what's been giving a lot of people this doubt that we aren't gonna make it through this series. But I'll never we had an incredible season. I got way too much faith in our squad. I got way too much faith in Ant. I don't see a whole series I don't see us getting railroaded. You know what I'm saying?
No, I still got the Wolves going to the finals, but I got them meeting Dallas. I think the Mavericks made tremendous midseason moves. Daniel Gafford has the highest shooting percentage and effective field goal percentage in the NBA.
Yeah.
They got good real fast, and they're the hottest team in the NBA. Right now, I got a favorite Dallas coming out of the West, Boston coming out of the East. Victor Wembanyama is it.
You think so?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Possibly. Here's what I want to see for the Spurs, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when the Spurs were the greatest, they had like a whole roster of stars. Well, not a roster of stars, but they had more than one star. And I'm excited about Wembanyama, absolutely. But I would like to see them put more big names around him. Like, he's doing great in terms of getting the team to perform above expectations, like pretty much by himself. But I don't think he'll be able to get them like to be significantly better, especially in the postseason by himself. And I think they do need to go back to the model for the Spurs where you have multiple stars who are good at different things that can work together. And I think once they do that, once they find some big names that can work with him, then we'll actually see a big difference in the Spurs and we'll see that dynasty.
And you know what you saying that, I feel like that is a really good, that would be a great move for that team because they need that in the NBA right now because all of the teams are following that same exact trend. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying?
They need to put Wemby on a meal plan too.
Exactly.
They need to make that nigga be that tall, but be built like Joel Embiid. That's what we need. He'll go crazy.
They need to put him on the same plane Giannis was on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, hell yeah, that's the same way. Shaq got a Kobe. A motherfucking Shaq got a goddamn Penny Hardaway. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like all teams.
I agree with that.
Like,
and the great thing about right now is there's no team that's really doing it so well that you couldn't kind of experiment for a little while and make some progress. Like we just got finished talking about the Suns. Like, the big three that they have now was their attempt at doing it. But it's like what a lot of teams right now are doing is taking pieces that look good on paper, but not really thinking about how they work together. I think that's one of the problems that we're seeing with Dame Lillard. It's like it's the same issue we see with a lot of guys who are solo stars on their teams, and then they go to another team where they're expected to work with another star, and it's just like it just doesn't work out for some reason. So with Kyrie Irving, it took him a while to figure out how to fit in with the Mavericks and actually contribute properly. For a little while, people were like, this was a mistake, get him out of Dallas. And now it's like, oh, actually, this is working. This is a good thing. James Harden, like he never really did figure it out. You would see games where he was the main one on the court, and Embiid was out, and he would crush it. But then whenever
Yeah,
he had to cooperate with him, all of a sudden it was like, okay, where'd you go?
he
And I feel
trash.
like the same thing is
Yeah,
happening with Dame Lillard and all these teams where, like, you see it happen with the Suns sometimes. Devin Booker will put up 45, 50 points and they'll still lose somehow. It doesn't make sense.
Because
yeah.
So
scoring is
if the Spurs,
And
overrated.
KD,
exactly,
I
if
Scoring
the
is
noticed that
Spurs
with
can
overrated.
KD. You know what? I noticed that with KD with every team he went to.
get facts,
Because scoring is
Honestly,
but
I
overrated.
did. I did.
I
Like he been
I
up
think if
to
the
me like KD. Like they put him up there with the likes of LeBron and all that. But like KD is an amazing player. I love the way he play. I love all of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? He is a great fucking player. Like you can't take nothing from the man. But I don't feel like he should be put in the topic with niggas like LeBron,
no,
Kobe, Jordan, Steph
Really?
Curry. I don't think he should be
he's
put
never been a
in
leader.
the topic
He
with
don't
them.
want to. He even said he don't want to be a leader. Like when somebody say they don't want
Exactly.
to be a
You know
leader,
what I'm saying? Like,
that
he
gives
want to be
you
I
a
would
rapper.
never put
idea.
nobody.
He want to be a rapper.
That's like
I
a
see him with
motherfucker saying he don't want to lead the charge in the war, and
exactly.
then you put him
Hey,
right in the front
GMS. Hey,
line and shit.
GMS.
Hold on, you got the wrong
Kevin
guy.
Durant with GMS. GMS. I see Kevin Durant with motherfucking Conway the Machine more than I see Kevin Durant with the Phoenix Suns, nigga. You feel what I'm saying?
But he got too many celebrity friends, Pac G.
He want to be a rapper, G. He want to be a rapper.
So I got a question for Jazz. You said Kevin Booker should have been left. Like, where do you see him if he could get a spot anywhere?
I
Where
see
could
that
you see him
actually.
Well,
thrive?
Zen
And,
Master was
oh,
the one
I'm
who said
sorry. I
he
thought
should have
you
left.
said that.
I
Oh.
I
agree,
remember you
but
speaking on the Suns, but okay, go ahead, Zen. I
Right
apologize.
now, he
Where
needs to
could he
find his
be?
way
Where could
right
he
next
be?
to Stephen Wardell Curry or Wardell Stephen Curry. That's
that
what
would be
needs to
nice.
happen.
Okay, I can
Him and
see that.
Steph.
I actually can see that working real good, actually, because Clay, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He could fill in some shoes over there, man.
Steph has had enough. Steph has had enough of that squad. I know what he said on his interview, talk about how he wouldn't see himself without playing with those guys, but I know for sure he wouldn't mind Draymond leaving. And I don't know about Clay, but I'm sure he would love to have some guys in there that want to win. Now, I'm sure he cares way more about winning than he does having Draymond fuck up every chance he gets.
Yeah, man, Draymond
and the
choking
whole
motherfuckers
team,
and
like,
all kind of shit, man. This nigga wild, man. He
That's-
man. Listen, man.
That's like going to a party with Pac G.
Yeah,
I know
analogies
how
for
Steph
everything.
feels, dog. I know how Steph feels.
Make
dog.
sure
I
you
swear
strap.
to God.
somebody
Listen,
getting choked.
I swear
Somebody
to
get
God.
Somebody getting
That's-
pistol whipped. Somebody.
You don't know this nigga
somebody
on an emotional
get-
roller coaster the whole motherfucking night, man. You don't know what
You don't
the
know
fuck
what's
is
going on. Hey,
God damn it.
listen, check this out. Hey, it's going down.
Going to a
It's gonna
party
be a
with Pac
fun
G
night,
is
but-
wow.
You don't know. It's gonna be a wild night. It's gonna be out. It's gonna be like being out in California.
Dog, you'll be driving this
I was
nigga
going
to
to say
the
Pac G in spring break.
nigga. You can drive this
Spring
nigga to
break,
the
like-
hospital. He got a bullet in his shoulder. He like, dog, you my nigga, G. I swear to God, fam. If you ever get shot, G, on my life, nigga, I'm taking you to the hospital too, my nigga. Like this nigga be all over the place. No, I'm just saying. I know
swear to God, G.
Draymond one of them teammates, dog. Where you love him, that's why he's allowed to do it. He's well loved over there by the staff, by the players. He's allowed to be Draymond, man. But you're right. If it's come to being a championship
else,
team, I don't know how well that fits you.
Listen, that's where the phrase come in. You can't take your guy everywhere, my nigga.
Mm.
you kind of need
remember that when I don't invite you to a gala.
So I got a question.
It's a black tie event.
Does Draymond
remind
y'all? Does Draymond remind y'all a little bit of Rodman?
No, Rodman
No.
is different.
No,
Rodman
was
had different issues.
In one way.
Rodman, all he had to do was show
they
up.
both
They
had
couldn't
the
get him to
potential
show
to
up all the
snap.
time, like literally be there.
They
They
both
had to
had
go
the
pick that
potential
nigga
to
up
snap.
from
Yeah.
Draymond remind me of Spring.
Hold on. Go ahead, then, because you definitely know this motherfucking answer.
I'm just saying, Dennis Rodman would lose it on you too. He would do some over the top shit too. The difference is he was allowed to. The stuff that Draymond does right now is tame compared to what Dennis Rodman used to do.
Really, man? I don't feel like that. I
The
remember him
Draymond
playing.
remind me of
No, hold
Sprewell.
on. Is we talking Pistons or Bulls? 'Cause he did the
Pistons.
same shit, but the Bulls was worse. The Bulls was elbowing niggas like directly in the
He
nose
was
on
kicking
purpose. and
niggas
shit.
like
Them
on the
Pistons,
sideline.
man.
I'm
Like
talking
that
about
nigga,
more like, I
Yeah.
feel like when he got on the Bulls, he still played aggressively. He still got in your way and made sure your arms locked up. He did all of that.
Yeah.
he said
But-
Draymond is
Yeah.
Devon Dudley.
Yeah, Draymond a little different, man. Draymond kick niggas in the nuts, literally and shit, and act like nothing happened. And
No,
fall.
they said
He'll do that
Draymond
and
was
flop.
born in the. They said
Hey,
Draymond was born in the Pistons locker room.
Draymond remind me of Sprewell. I just seen a nigga 2 days ago.
Just in
Sprewell?
general.
Mhm.
His basketball or just him as a person? this nigga talking about, you know what? You know who look like? You look
Who looked like
you
who would choke his coach?
You remember
I'm like,
Montel
elaborate.
Jordan? He had
You know
a
what?
hit
I
in the
was choking
90s.
coach.
Look at that.
I'm known to choke a coach, so he remind me of
I don't
Sprewell.
even know where that was coming from.
Nigga say he choked the goat.
Rest in
He-
peace,
he known
PJ
to
Carlissimo.
But yeah, to build off your answer, I could see Devin Booker with Steph Curry. I don't know if I could see Devin Booker with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. That would
No,
be a
it's
little
not
bit
gonna
of a
happen.
different dynamic.
That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Draymond and
What about on the
Phoenix would be
Spurs?
wild with Nurkic.
That's actually what I was thinking. Like,
Spurs?
I'm not sure how Devin Booker would like San Antonio. It's not really his speed. He seems to really like the bigger cities and a more flashy lifestyle. But
Yeah.
as far as team dynamic, and I mean, we'll get to see some of these people and how they interact with each other and play against each other in the Olympics, right? Because we've got a lot of NBA players who are not only on
That
Team USA,
Olympic squad is
obviously, but
nice.
who are going to be on like representing other countries. So
Yeah.
we'll get to see a lot of NBA players during the Olympics. But I really do think the Spurs would benefit from using the expertise and experience of Popovich while he's still there to put together a new squad that can kind of revive the franchise. But yeah, as far as complimenting Wemby, yeah, I think Devin Booker could definitely do that. Um, but as far as fitting in with the brand, that's the only part that I would question.
What
Like,
about New York then?
They got OG up there now. I wouldn't move OG. That's OG Anunoby for those who are unfamiliar. Josh Hart is doing well. Josh Hart's not necessarily a starter. I think D Book could fit in up there with next to Brunson. Actually, I think that's a pretty good fit. Actually,
I feel like them two together be
That might be
hard. Who do you
damn
hold? Who do you
That might
put
damn near
pressure
be
on? Because
I
right
mean,
there.
if OG got to go, OG got to go. I know you just got there, but if you got to go, you got to go.
Hell yeah.
what you got here, GMS?